Imagine your gravestone, now stick with me, says, died with lots and lots of money. Is that really what success looks like? Well, we've been conditioned to chase 100%, especially when it comes to something as important as retirement. But that mindset can lead you right into a trap you don't see coming. Hi, I'm Jordan Lehman, founder and financial planner at True Wealth Retirement Partners. And every day, I help my clients create steady retirement income, invest smarter, pay less in taxes, and I want to share what works for them so that you can retire with confidence too. And in this video, I want to unpack the 100% success trap and why so many people fall into it and how to avoid it. So, from the time we're little kids, we're told 100% equals success. In school, on report cards, at work, it's all about what? Perfection. And it sticks with us, especially when we've been planning something as huge as our retirement. After all, who wouldn't want their retirement plan to have 100% chance of success? It sounds responsible, smart, like you've done everything right. But that's the trap. So, for those of you not familiar, you can run your retirement plan through a Monte Carlo simulation, which sounds like a fancy vacation, but it's actually a stress test for your money. And it projects everything out into the future, running thousands of different simulations with both good and bad market performance. And it tells you in what percentage of scenarios do you make it to the end without running out of money. So, why would 100% success be a trap? Because what it ought to say instead is there is a 100% chance that you underspent in retirement. There's a 100% chance that you weren't as generous as you could have been. Or there's a 100% chance that you didn't travel as much as you wanted. Why? Because the simulation assumes what? The worst case over and over and over again. It's preparing you for recession after recession, bad timing after bad timing, and you still didn't have a single scenario where you ran out of money. It's a warning sign. And this brings us to the fundamental misconception that causes people to chase that 100% success number. They think it means safe. But in reality, it often just means you didn't fully live. Success in these simulations isn't black and white. It's not a, get this, you made it or you're doomed scenario. Instead, it's a, do you coast through retirement without a hitch? Or do you need to make a tweak here and there along the way? Think about it this way. If you saw a cliff coming, would you walk right off? Certainly not. But that's exactly what the simulation assumes you would do. It assumes that if the market tanks or something unexpected happens, you're going to just keep spending blindly with no adjustments whatsoever. But in real life, if you're even remotely proactive, and I know if you're watching this, you clearly are, you're going to adapt, you're going to pause, you're going to reassess, you'll adjust when needed. That's not failure, that's wisdom. So, what might that look like practically? Perhaps you temporarily decrease your spending for a bit. Maybe you hit pause on a big trip. Maybe you wait an extra year to buy a new car. These are normal human decisions, part of a healthy, dynamic retirement plan. And yet, the simulation assumes you never make those choices. It assumes you're asleep at the wheel. So the question becomes, what kind of retirement do you actually want? Because if you're aiming for 100% success rate in the simulation, you're likely leaving a lot of joy, generosity, and flexibility on the table. I've had clients who are sitting on seven-figure portfolios living incredibly restricted lifestyles because they were afraid of that number dropping from 100 to 95, 90, 85. But here's what those other numbers actually represent. They represent lives being lived. They represent trade offs, yes, but also experiences, impact, and freedom. I had a couple once who had a 94% success rate on their plan. I'm sitting there saying, hey, you should spend more money. The wife, though, looked worried and she said, so what happens in the 6%? I said, well, you might need to cut back spending for a bit, maybe a year or two, maybe take a couple less trips. You still have food on the table, a roof over your head, and more options than most people ever dream of. She paused and said, oh, it's not nearly as scary as I thought it would be. I said, exactly. So here's the shift I'd love for you to make. Stop thinking of your retirement like a test where only 100% gets the passing grade, a pass fail. Instead, start thinking of it as a life you're building, one filled with purpose, generosity, joy, margin, where the goal isn't just not to run out of money, but to use your wealth well, to enjoy it, to share it, to leave a mark on the people and causes you care about most. Because get this, a perfect retirement plan that leaves you with untouched millions and regrets about the memories you didn't make, that's not success. That's just fear wearing a really responsible looking disguise. So we'll see you in the next one.